Mason. I'm 11 years old and I'm living with cancer. When I was 5 years old, I was diagnosed with a juvenile pilocytic astrocytoma, which is a slow-growing, inoperable brain tumor in my optic chiasm. That's a lot of big words for someone who had just learned to write her own name, so we just called it Stinky. Within a month, I went through brain surgery and began my first 2 years of chemotherapy. I've had my share of 6 surgeries, 48 months of chemotherapy, 30 MRIs, 16 blood transfusions, and countless blood draws. When it was all over, I went back to life as I knew it, dancing 2+ hours a week. We began actually to live life and enjoy life again. And then, about a year later, Stinky began to grow again. That meant another 2 years of chemo and going back to life, working through the pain as I danced and rode my horse. Fast forwarding to today, I've been off treatment for 2 years and I'm living the typical life of a middle school kid. I take horseback riding. And ride 5 hours a week. Before, I couldn't always make it through dance, or I couldn't do all the things in my PE class, but I never gave up. Throughout my journey with cancer, there have been many shining stars to brighten up the darkness. One of these stars is the American Cancer Society's Camp You Can Do. In 2006, Suzanne Parolic, I know her as Chipper, and Sue Stark, I know her as Fargo, encouraged me to join this week-long camp for children fighting cancer. At the time, I was on chemo and scared to be away from home and my mom. They were very persistent and assured me they would take extremely good care of me. So in the end, I decided if I was brave enough to face cancer, I was brave enough to face the wilderness for 1 week. It was one of the best decisions I have made yet. The first thing I remember when I arrived was Chipper greeting me and giving me a stuffed cat to ease my fear. The first day of camp brings something else to each camper, a nickname. Mine is KP, Katelin Possible, because at the time, Kim Possible, the crime-fighting cheerleader, was my hero. I was now KP the camper, not Katelin the little girl with cancer. This week, I was just like everyone else. Over the next week, we did it all, from campfires to rock walls, from archery to dancing the night away. I remember my first year, I read some book about great archers. So of course, I had to try archery. At first, I was horrible, but I stuck with it, and eventually I hit the bullseye. Now it's my favorite each year. Another favorite of my camp experiences is the dance. Each year there is a theme for the Thursday night dance. The themes have been superheroes, pirates, fiesta, and jungle. My 3rd year of camp was the year I overcame my fear of heights. I was so deathly afraid of when it came to climbing the rock wall, there was no way my feet were leaving the ground. After a bit of convincing and a lot of support from my friends and counselors, I was able to try it. Although I didn't reach the top that time, I found a new love for rock climbing. In 2009, when the camp moved to the Camp Collins site, I was introduced to the biggest rock wall I've ever seen. With my fear of heights long gone, I climbed the rock wall all the way to the top, and on the last day, I climbed it again for the news. My stays at Camp You Can Do over the past 4 years have been some of the brightest and happiest times of my life. I can just be me and do what I want to do at my pace, without anyone judging me because they all understand what I've gone through, which reassures you that you can do it. That's why it's so important to kids like me to just have fun and not worry when the next blood draw is coming. Last month, a routine MRI found that my tumor has slowly been growing yet again. For now, the growth is slow. We just have to continue with our lives and wait and see what happens. But while my medical future is uncertain, one thing I do know is Camp You Can Do will be the highlight of my life again this summer. Thank you for your support.